change the time, change the time, time changer, change the time, send the sign, take my mind. Change the time, change the time, time changer, change the time, send the sign, take my mind. Change the time, change the time. Surprised to seize the day from where we had come. Sun and moon both crystallized. It was better late, our date with the sun. Never were we so surprised to seize the day from where we had come. Sun and moon both crystallized. It was better late, our date with the sun. Never were we so surprised to seize the day from where we had come. Sun and moon both crystallized. It was better late, our date with the sun. Never were we so surprised to seize the day from where we had come. Sun and moon both crystallized. It was better late, our day with the sun. As we were going to who knows where, heaven was coming and all for the world. Never were we so surprised to seize the day from where we had come. Sun and moon both crystallized. It was better late, our day with the sun. Never were we so surprised to seize the day from where we had come. Sun and moon both crystallized. It was better late, our day with the sun. Time changer, change the time, time changer, time if it's a lie? like everything's been done before. But today I feel better. Destiny, I cannot keep this in my mind. I've never been the silent kind. I want to tell those left behind good things around the corner. 'Cause I feel like an absolute beginner. Like this is the day of a whole new life. And I know this love is gonna deliver like an absolute beginner. And everything is new, and it's all because of you. Let your love come tumbling down. It's never felt so real as right when the music fades and no one cares or really understands. I'll be there to take your hand. And when the last note plays and no one's there and you want to run and hide, I will still be by your side. Singing in that voice you hear inside. When my heart is on the line, winter days of bright sunshine, You're the window on the wall. When my hope is fading fast, you're like rain upon the grass, and the wonder of it all. Your love sustains. It's supernatural. Supernatural. Yeah. When your time has come and you can feel your spirit slip away, I'll be there to make your day. And when your mind is gone and life itself is about to take the dive, that's the moment I'll arrive. And we'll know what it means to be alive. When my heart is on the line, winter days of bright sunshine, you're the window on the wall. When my hope is fading fast, you're like rain upon the grass, and the wonder of it all. Your love sustains. It's supernatural. Supernatural. Yeah. Supernatural. 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 After the music fades, we walk by candlelight, but somehow the music reaches far beyond our sight. When my heart is on the line, winter days of bright sunshine, you're the window on the wall. When my hope is fading fast, you're like rain upon the grass, and the wonder of it all. like you might be in a danger zone before the fire starts to burn. Look away to a place where this war is worlds away, when it's all about you and it's not about me, to a place where you know you'll be okay, when it's all about you and you get it for